Cheers. Tuesday, May 24th. I want to say hello and just talk a little bit about music. Yes, I've heard of Aktuala. I don't have any vinyl. Those records are hard to find. I have this burn of one of their albums. I've heard 3 of their albums. I haven't heard, no one could hear of everything. So, of course, there's a lot of music I haven't heard or heard of, but there's a lot that I have heard. And I like variety. Acknowledging that it was yesterday was Sun Ra's birthday, rest in peace. Like Vangelis, I don't have a dedicated Sun Ra collection because that would be almost impossible to do with all of the limited runs, records that he made, and the ones where he designed the covers themselves are hard to find. But I love Sun Ra. Unfortunately, never got to see the band play live. But I have just a couple from my Sun Ra section. It's an early pressing. I don't know if it's first, second, or third, but it's on ESP, the Heliocentric Worlds of Sun Ra. And this is some really dynamic music that really deserves your attention and study. And also Volume 2. This is also on ESP, an early pressing. You've never heard such sounds in your life. Just like it says right there, and it's really true. Very much a larger-than-life figure, Sun Ra, very influential on culture, I dare say, not just music. So yesterday, my band RAF with the Roots in Punk, the album is finished musically. Now to get the drummer who insists on doing the graphics to get his act together. And so that's what yesterday was about. We're getting close to actually having it in our hands. With that in mind, I've been getting into some energy music. And so, like, for example, this morning, what I was playing before I started the video was Turnstile's album, Glow On. They've been around 10 or so years now. Really like this band, like the energy. No, the words really don't say much to me. You know, I actually look at the words to see what it's about, and it's like, it's what I feel from the music. And I relate to this band too. There's very much a punk energy to this. And I relate to it, you know, with my whole history with RAF and the other bands I've been in. Yeah, it comes with this outer jacket too that it comes in. Turnstile, good band. But consequently, yesterday I listened to some other hard music. I hadn't played this in a while. I really like this album. Slayer, South of Heaven. This is a good one. I like the way it's recorded too. It's recorded pretty well. And Lombardo's drums on here are I love the way he will just bear down on when it's time to groove and when it's time to thrash. And you can hear, I can hear and feel the change in energy. It's like, you know, it's like dialing up like a meter going up in energy. Rain and Blood, I used to have that. Sorry I sold it. And I saw Slayer back in the day, probably around this time when they were touring with Megadeth and Anthrax and Alice in Chains. It was a great show. I love this band and really like the way this album is recorded for the metal sound. Meshuggah, The Violent Sleep of Reason. Just black vinyl. You know how they'll do multiple issues on different colors of these records. I pay really little attention to Jen's vocals. They could make these records without the vocals and I'd be just happy. It is the texture of the music, the way that they break up time, the snake-like riffs and unusual. They're very powerful and soulful too. I have to listen closely a few times to really decipher their riffs. Monstrous band, Meshuggah. Love this band. Love them. And that's, other than that, what I played yesterday that was really fun. I can't remember if someone sent me a copy of this, possibly, but it's the Amorphous Androgynous, another term for Future Sound of London people. They put out this compilation called The Wizards of Oz, a monstrous psychedelic bubble exploding in your mind. And it's a comp. It's a very good one. And I ended up with a copy on vinyl, which I'm really happy about. This has some very cool tracks on it. One in particular is this band called Air, the Sea, not the American band Air or the jazz band. Apparently they're from Australia, and you can't find anything out about it, but it's a very cool track. Another real cool track on here is Rob Tomset. A couple of them. The Flight of Yaran. It's from that really collectible Australian Yarandu. Is that how you say the title? I've never seen a real copy, and they go for lots of money. This is really good and psychedelic and wild. It's interesting that, among other people, Tame Impala is on here, and it fits. It fits. So pretty darn cool. You know, I bought this the other day at the record show, and I just want to say this is real good. It was the guy had a sticker on it calling it funk, jazz funk. It's not funk. It is more cerebral. It's really, really good. And modern jazz quartet, but not. The Advancement, real, real good. Listen to a side of this yesterday. This is how I operate. It's just, music. Yeah, I play a lot of music. Linda Perhacs, I'm a Harmony. She has a collectible album out of the 70s, Parallelograms. I have a reissue of this. But then she got back in the studio in recent times, and this is wonderful. It's the sensibility that I'm into, which is she is connected to humanity. She cares about life. She cares about people. She's a dreamer. She has good values, and they come through in the music. It's fabulous. It's wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And talk about a contrast between Linda Perhacs and Meshuggah. I love it all. I really do. Okay. Short one for you today, people. Have a good day.